Stromae doesn't enter the room quietly. He arrives with a beat that makes you move, and lyrics that make you stop. Behind the colorful suits and infectious rhythms lives an artist who turned personal loss, cultural tension, and social anxiety into some of the most intelligent pop music of the 21st century. Early life: a child of two worlds. Stromae was born Paul van Hever on March 12, 1985, in Etterbeek, Brussels, Belgium. His mother was Belgian, his father, a Rwandan architect. This dual heritage shaped his identity early on, belonging everywhere and nowhere at the same time. When Paul was just 9 years old, his father was killed during the 1994 Rwandan genocide. The loss was devastating, though largely unspoken for years. That absence, the unanswered questions, the silence, would later echo powerfully in his music, most famously in Papa Outai, Papa, Where Are You? As a child, Paul was placed in a strict Catholic boarding school. Music became both refuge and rebellion. He learned the drums, immersed himself in hip-hop, chanson française, African rhythms, and electronic music, absorbing everything, filtering it through his own lens. The birth of Stromae. Before fame, he was just another kid hustling beats and rhymes. The name, Stromae, comes from Berlin, French slang that flips syllables, maestro, reversed. It wasn't just clever wordplay, it was a statement. He wasn't here to follow tradition. He was here to remix it. He studied audio engineering and worked odd jobs, even selling homemade CDs to support himself. No shortcuts, no industry fairy tales, just grind, patience, and belief. Breakthrough: Dancing Through Despair. In 2009, Stromae released Allure on Danse. The song exploded. Clubs played it like an anthem. Radios couldn't let it go. But beneath the hypnotic synths was a bleak message: economic anxiety, exhaustion, and people dancing simply to forget their problems. It topped charts across Europe and beyond. Stromae had cracked the code: music that moves your feet while confronting your mind. Cheese, 2010, Irony as Identity. His debut album, Cheese, introduced a sharp, ironic voice. Stromae mocked excess, masculinity, and shallow fame while sounding completely effortless doing it. His style was minimalist yet bold, clean beats, precise words, no filler. He wasn't trying to be cool. That's what made him cool. Racine Carré, 2013, The Masterpiece. If Cheese introduced Stromae, Racine Carré, Square Root proved he was a generational artist. This album was personal, daring, and fearless. Papa Outai explored fatherlessness with childlike melodies and devastating honesty. Formidable portrayed a drunken man unraveling in public, filmed as a raw street performance. Tous les memes dissected gender stereotypes with biting humor. Quan Say turned cancer into a terrifying dance with death. The visuals were just as powerful as the songs: bold choreography, symbolic costumes, storytelling that felt theatrical yet intimate. Fashion, art, and total control. Stromae doesn't separate sound from image. His fashion sense, sharp suits, vibrant colors, African-inspired patterns, became part of his signature. He co-founded the clothing line Moser, blending music, design, and identity into one cohesive universe. Every detail mattered. Every frame told a story. Silence, fame's hidden cost. At the height of his success, Stromae disappeared. Touring, pressure, and adverse reactions to malaria medication severely affected his mental and physical health. Rather than burning out in public, he stepped away. Years passed. Fans waited. Rumors grew. Stromae chose survival over spectacle. Return, Multitude, 2022. After nearly a decade, he returned with Multitude. The album reflected travel, healing, and curiosity, drawing sounds from Latin America, Africa, and Europe. It was softer, wiser, and deeply human. Stromae openly discussed anxiety, depression, and vulnerability, not as weaknesses, but as truths. Legacy: why Stromae endures. Stromae matters because he refuses simplicity in a world that loves it. He proves pop music can be smart. That sadness can be danceable. That honesty never goes out of style. He doesn't just make hits. He makes statements, dressed in rhythm, wrapped in melody, delivered with heart.